Speaking Task 1. You will be asked a question about a familiar topic. You will then have 15 seconds to prepare your response, and 45 seconds to speak.
Do you prefer using credit cards or cash for your purchases? Justify your preference with relevant reasons.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
I would prefer using credit cards as opposed to cash. The first reason is because of convenience. I don't need to carry around a large amount of money, just one small card. Secondly, using a credit card is safer than carrying cash, as a lost or stolen card can easily be replaced, unlike lost cash. Lastly, credit cards often offer reward points, cash back, or other benefits for their use, incentivizing their use over cash.
Speaking Task 2. You will read a short paragraph and then listen to a conversation between two people. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the conversation between two people.
Can you believe that they're asking us to pay 50% more for the gym?
They are kind of right. I mean, the price was already pretty low. I don't mind that increase.
To be honest, for me, it's the principle of the matter. I don't think that there was a need for them to increase the price this much. Yes, the price was low, but it should continue being that low.
Why do you think it shouldn't change? I think that the reasons they gave were legitimate.
You might say that we should pay a little bit more for the new facilities, but besides the addition of the new showers, which, to be honest, I don't think we need, the other things, such as treadmills and new rooms, aren't expensive.
Come on, it would be expensive to build a new room for weightlifting.
That's the thing. They will actually build nothing. They will simply partition the space that they already have. They will put up some walls.
Okay, but they still need to pay for the operating costs.
What operating costs? I mean, they do have operating costs, but the price of the water and the electricity hasn't increased. So I don't know what operating costs are higher. They own the land on which the gym is located, so the lease is not going up for them.
Well, I don't mind. I will keep on going.
What does the male student think about the increase of the price for the university's gym?
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
The male student thinks that there was no need for the university to increase the price of the gym by 50%. He believes that the price was already low and should continue to be low. He argues that besides the addition of new showers, which he thinks are unnecessary, the other facilities such as treadmills and new rooms are inexpensive. He mentions that the university will not actually build anything new, but instead, partition the existing space. The male student also questions the reason for the increase in operating costs, as he believes that the price of water and electricity has not gone up and the university owns the land where the gym is located. Despite his disagreement with the increase, he acknowledges that some people may not mind and continue to use the gym.
Speaking Task 3. You will read a short paragraph about an academic topic, then listen to a lecture about it. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the lecture.
It is difficult to define social cognition, but for the most part, it refers to the process of perceiving and understanding the other people and how we see the world around us. The mental processes we are talking about are involved in perceiving, remembering, and thinking about our social world. Social cognition is really important to us in order to be a functioning member of a society. Social cognition can vary from culture to culture, so we need to be in tune with our own environment in order to give good signals that we understand and that we will act accordingly. One example of this could be how we interpret a smile. In some cultures, when another member of society smiles at us, we could understand that as them showing interest in us, that they would want us to approach and start a conversation, and we could choose to do so. Whereas in another culture, a smile could be something that is required in any social occasion. So seeing it on someone else's face could simply mean that they are being polite and nothing else. So just smiling back would be an appropriate response. Physical contact is another thing we need to look at. In some places, physical contact in an everyday setting might be a sign of dominance and aggression. In such cultures, there is a lack of it. When a member of this society feels it, they think that they might need to fight or retreat. But in other cultures, physical contact is abundantly present and is a sign of affection and friendship. In these environments, a hand on the shoulder or a strong tap on the back might be an indicator of friendly intentions and not hostile ones, whereas in the previously mentioned culture, it would be perceived as an attack.
Explain the concept of social cognition that the professor talks about. Use points and examples from the lecture.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
Social cognition is about how we understand and perceive others and the world around us. It helps us interact with society in a meaningful way. For example, in some cultures, a smile may indicate friendliness and a desire to communicate, while in others it may simply be a polite gesture. Physical contact can also have different meanings in different cultures. It may signal aggression in one culture, but affection in another. Understanding these cultural differences is essential for effective communication and social interaction. Social cognition involves processes of perception, memory, and thought that shape our interactions with others. The way we interpret social cues and behaviors can vary greatly from one culture to another, so it is important to be aware of these differences in order to navigate society effectively.
You will listen to a lecture about an academic topic. After, you will get a question about what you heard. You will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. Now listen to the lecture.
So let's continue our conversation about the cuckoo bird. Now, one interesting thing about this particular species is that it practices egg mimicry. You see, cuckoo birds lay camouflaged eggs, much smaller than a bird their size should make, in other birds' nests. Their mimic eggs look identical to the other eggs, so the mother bird does not notice that the cuckoo egg is not theirs. Now, there are two benefits to the practice of egg mimicry. For one, the young cuckoo birds are provided a home and food by their adoptive parent, and also the other baby birds in the nest are offered some protection. For the cuckoo bird, egg mimicry is an easy way to have their young raised by a host bird. When the eggs hatch, the baby cuckoo bird shares in the shelter of the nest and the food brought by its newly adoptive parent. These birds also grow much larger in a shorter amount of time, so it's easier for them to compete with the other birds. If there's not enough food or room for all the baby birds to share, well, the cuckoo baby has been known to push the other birds out of the nest and consume all the food. But believe it or not, there is also a benefit for the other baby chicks sharing the nest with the cuckoo bird. Once the cuckoo baby bird hatches, it provides the nest with protection. When the mother bird leaves the nest and a hungry predator comes to take advantage of her absence, the baby cuckoo releases a smelly odor that drives the predator away. If the other baby birds are allowed to remain in the nest with the cuckoo, then they are, in this way, also protected from these dangers.
Using the example of the cuckoo bird from the lecture, explain two ways in which egg mimicry is beneficial for birds.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.
In the listening, the lecturer discusses a practice among cuckoo birds called egg mimicry. Cuckoos lay eggs that look the same as other birds' eggs in size and color. The mother cuckoo lays her eggs in another bird's nest, so that bird can't tell the difference between her own eggs and the cuckoo's. According to the lecturer, this practice has two advantages. First, when the baby cuckoo birds are born, the host bird raises it like its own. The baby cuckoo is provided with a home in the nest and food from their adopted mom. But also, there is an advantage to the other baby birds too, and that is protection. Should a predator try to come for the nest while the mother bird is away, the cuckoo will release a smell that wards off the predator. After hearing this talk, I now have a better understanding of egg mimicry.